Today we will be interviewing my friend Wade. How are you doing, Wade?
I'm doing great, Johnny. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing very good. You are a founder and president of CharityHeroes.com and the author of Wade Factor. Is that right?
That is correct.
Oh, thank you. I have some question for you. Why did you create the book, and what happened in your life that caused you to write this book?
Well, the Wade Factors book is something that basically I was going through a lot of stuff in my life where I just had a lot of self lack. I didn't have self worth. I didn't have self love. I just felt like I wasn't worth living in this world. And I'd felt this way for a very long time in my life and I'd taken a lot of drugs throughout my childhood years and my adult years, and just did a lot of screwed up things in my life because I was just so unhappy with inside myself. And I didn't think that I was worthy of being a good person, or that I was actually capable of achieving anything that was good in life, because I had a lot of critics in my life since I was born, and since I've been a young kid, and I've had a lot of things that have happened to me, and I began to kind of be a person that played the victim role all the time. A lot of bad things always happened to me, but I was attracting these things into my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so after about 37 years of living this way, of just miserability, I was going to commit suicide. And during the process of attempting to do that, I just thought about the people that were important in my life, like my son. And I just thought that if I killed myself, what would this do to him? And so that basically, that was the thought that stopped me from following through killing myself. And after that day, I came down from the mountains with my shotgun, and I went home, and I actually drove over to my aunt's house, and my cousin was standing out in the driveway, and I just came out of my car, and I was crying my eyes out. He said, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "Well, I was going to kill myself today." And I gave him my gun, and I told him, "Here, I want you to take this from me." And I just explained to him that I wasn't good enough to be in the world and why I felt that way. And because I had a father that was very critical to me, and he would verbally put me down. And when we were younger too, when he was in my life as a young kid, he did a lot of physical abuse. But as I got older and he re-entered my life, he was a very big verbal and emotional abuser. And he was constantly reminding me that I was not good enough and that I would never amount to anything. And so after that day happened, I started to have to ask myself personal questions. And these questions were, why do I feel so miserable? And why do I feel like I'm worthless? And there were a lot of different things that came to the surface that became the answer to that question, why? A lot of things happened to me, so I had to take another step in these whys, and I had to take a look at what was my mind doing all the time? What was I thinking all the time? And what I realized was that my thinking was full of negative thoughts, and my conversation and my observations in life were very negative as well. So when I meet somebody, I automatically kind of observe them, and then I can see the things in them that they need to fix, or I can see their flaws, and I can either point that out or not. But during the process, I was doing this to myself, and it led me to writing this book, Wade Factors, because I discovered during the process of asking myself the questions of why I was so miserable and why am I being so negative, it started to lead me down a path that unfolded different people and places into my experience. And what I mean by that was because I was so negative, I never really gave positivity a chance. And so when I decided to be positive, that door opened up. And when it did, there was a lot of people waiting there on the other side.
Yeah.
and what I mean by that too, sometimes these people were YouTube videos. Like for instance, a lot of my inspiration when I was writing this particular book and experiencing the growth that weight factors can bring somebody's life is that I was listening to a lot of like Les Brown and a lot of Eric Thomas and Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and I also listen to like Joel Osteen and there's T.D. Jakes. He's a bishop and there's a lot of other people that just they preach from different levels of prayer and meditation and self-development. And I also listen to Esther Hicks. She's somebody that channels a person, or not a person, but she can channel into energy, and she taps into what they've named Abraham Hicks, and she's big into the law of attraction as well. And so what happened is during the process, about within 1 to 2 weeks after attempting to commit suicide, I just looked within myself and I dug deep into this dark, dark hole. And during that process, all of these people started to enter my experience. And then the weight factors, everything that's in the book of weight factors, were just things that I was personally experiencing in my personal life, that I was discovering that these were the answers that we needed to take if we wanted to see success and achieve greater things in our life. And so weight factors just kind of breaks down the steps and the things that we need to do within our lives, in our minds, our body, and our spirit. So in our thoughts, our feelings, and our actions. And when we apply the things that are going on inside weight factors towards our thoughts and our feelings and actions, I have without a doubt that your life will change for the better. Because I've implemented everything in this book, because what's going on in this book is what's going on in my life.
Right.
And, the fact is I haven't really read the book for a little while, and I started to read it again. I was like, wow, you've evolved even since this book has been written. And I'm in the midst of writing more and stuff right now. So there'll be more books to come. But in the process of this particular book, it was really just more about thoughts, feelings, and actions. And what I had to do was I had to look at the way I was thinking, the way I was feeling, and the way I was acting. All of these things are connected. And so often in society, when we see people that are acting angry about something, or we see them on drugs all the time, or they're just unhappy all the time. We see a lot of negative people all the time, and very